Allegiance. I pledge
allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Call the roll, please.
Mayor Bailey?
Here.
Mr. Bateman?
Here.
Mr. Goodyear?
Here.
Mr. Hart?
Here.
Mr. Ori?
Here.
Mr. Phelps?
Here.
Mr. Ping?
Here.
Welcome, everyone. With us tonight, we also got a haircut. Director of Finance, Mark Medler. Our Assistant City Manager, Chris Weinich. Clerk of Council, Misty Clark. City Manager, Dave Kennedy. City Solicitor, Joe Braun. Our Captain Gangler is here for our chief. Also, former Mayor Rob Weisgerber is here, and former Councilman Kent Blair. So welcome, everyone. And we also have the Executive Director, Leanne Watson, Claremont County Mental Health and Recovery Board. So welcome to you. And actually, I think you're up.
Well, good evening. Thank you for that introduction. I will be brief. I am here tonight to talk to you about our mental health levy and also give you a chance to ask any questions that you might have about that. So our mental health levy will be on the ballot November 4th with a renewal. So it's a 0.75 renewal, which means no new taxes. So that cost of that levy is $15 per 100,000 evaluation. So that levy brings in $3.3 million to the behavioral health system in Claremont County every year, and really is very vital to our system and to the services that are provided in our system. So I want to give you a little information about that. So the services that are funded by the levy include our crisis hotline, our mobile crisis team, school-based mental health services throughout the county, drug prevention services for our youth, suicide prevention services, medication-assisted treatment for individuals that have a opioid addiction, as well as services for our adults that have a serious and persistent mental illness. An important thing for you to know is that the levy also provides a safety net for our residents that do not have insurance or have a high deductible. So it allows people that have a need, a behavioral health need, so mental health, they need mental health or substance use treatment, but do not have the ability to afford that. So the levy allows us a safety net for our residents, so that they can access those services and not need to worry about the ability to pay for those. We really recognize the importance of that during the opioid epidemic, and that was really very valuable, those levy funds, to allow people to access those services when needed. So these services reach 25,000 of our residents every year. So that's 1 in 5 Claremont residents. So we've got a pretty good reach with a small budget. Our budget is a little less than $8 million a year, and the levy is over a third of that budget. So obviously it's very essential that we pass this levy. I know everybody's been watching the news and I'm sure is very familiar with the fact that since COVID, we've seen an uptick in mental health concerns in our community, particularly among our youth. So much so, excuse me, that the Surgeon General has actually declared it an emergency or a crisis state for our youth. So let me give you some statistics on what we're seeing locally. So we've had a 53% increase in our crisis services since 2020. So that's our crisis hotline as well as our mobile crisis team. We've seen a 42% increase in calls from youth under the age of 17. So that's a pretty substantial number there. We've also seen a 13% increase in youth using our school-based mental health services. So again, the need, particularly for our youth, has really increased in the last several years. One of the new initiatives that the levy will fund will be a crisis receiving center, which is kind of similar to urgent care for adults with behavioral health needs. So it'll be immediate 24/7 access for people that are in crisis and need access to services. And again, this has been a major gap in our system, and we've really, again, recognized that during the opioid epidemic, the need to have that quick access to treatment when you need it. So we're very excited about the ability to bring that up, and levy funding will be part of that, but it's a very expensive endeavor, and so we're also accessing some opioid settlement funding from the county commissioners, which we're very thankful for. So as I said, our budget is about a little less than $8 million, and this levy does make up over a third of that. So without passing this levy, we're at risk of having to cut pretty substantially services in our community. So we're hoping we don't have to do that, and we're hoping we'll have support from the community around this levy. Again, it's a 0.75 mil, and it's a renewal and no new taxes. So I'm here to answer any questions that you might have about the levy.
Anybody have any questions, comments? Mr. Bateman?
Just, I know that you mentioned the Crisis Receiving Center. That's something that's not yet operational. Do you know when that might be ready to be active?
Yes, so we're actually in the process of going out to bid. We're hoping at the beginning of November. So we're doing the all the little steps to start the advertising. We're very excited about that. And we're looking, the project has to be complete by December 31st of 26 because we use some ARPA funding for the renovation of our building. So we're hoping it'll be actually operational early 2027.
Thank you.
Thank
Vice
you.
Mayor?
Yeah, just curious in terms of your staff then. With the increase, have you taken on new staff or what's the plan? I mean, those are fairly substantial increases across.
Well, unfortunately, so we don't provide services directly. We contract out with treatment providers in the community. And because of funding, I mean, we have a pretty small budget. They have increased a little bit of their staff, but the workforce is a huge issue. And I know everybody says that, right? But we have been struggling a lot with in the behavioral health field. After COVID, people were able to get their services online, telehealth. And so a lot of people aren't wanting to work in community mental health anymore because you don't make any money doing it, right? And you can make more money doing it online. So we're doing the best we can, to meet the need, and keep those wait lists down. But for the most part, we're doing pretty good. So
Mr. Braun?
I just wanted to weigh in for the benefit of residents and council. I know the captain may be aware of this, but there's another benefit that the city receives from mobile crisis, which it reduces our liability. When we call mobile crisis and they respond, it prevents our officers from having to deploy weapons they would otherwise deploy. And I can tell you that maybe once or twice a year I'll be reviewing files and matters, and Leanne and her staff will deploy mobile crisis at the request of officers or even our Loveland Sims Fire Department. And I don't think that residents realize how much good they can do. And rather than us ending up on the news and having an incident where maybe we have a use of force, they're able to intervene and get someone the help that they need. I'm also can tell you, because I'm very familiar with it, that they've saved lives in the city of Loveland. And I know this for a fact. And so we appreciate that. But it is something that is important to the city of Loveland and in ways that often residents don't know.
Thank you, Mr. Brown, for recognizing that. And so the mobile crisis does assist police quite a bit. And there's also another component of that, which is crisis intervention team or CIT training that we provide for free to all departments in the county. And that really does assist with not only helping the officers with skills, because, they're not social workers, even though they are literally a lot of times the front line to the behavioral health system. So we provide them with those skills around de-escalation as well as information on resources in the community. So that helps them as well. But we have a very strong partnership with our first responders, particularly our police, and work very closely with them.
Thank you. Any further comment, questions? All right, thank you very much.
Thank you.
For,
So I did
taking
leave.
your time and for everything you do in the community.
Oh, thank you. Thank you for your time. And I've left some information for you, and also my card. If anybody ever has any questions, feel free to reach out. So thank you so much. I appreciate it.
Jim Dahlmeyer.
Jim Dahlmeyer, 452 Pintail Drive. I was asked to read a letter for a neighbor of mine that couldn't make it today, and they knew I was going to be at council. So they asked me to read this, and they would like to speak tonight about the city's approach to historic preservation, and more specifically, the importance of applying our historic preservation and planning district guidelines and Ordinance 1328 consistently, even when the project begins with the city itself. Recently, the city installed an electronic sign in front of City Hall. I stopped by early this morning to take a look. It was hard to miss. It was like a beacon of light up and down, lighting up downtown. While I understand the intent to communicate with residents, the design of the sign is aesthetic, the antithesis of historic. It's bright, it's modern, it's visually dominant. Everything in the guidelines were designed to prevent in the heart of our historic district. City Hall sits in the center of the Historic Preservation and Planning District, which means it is subject to the same design review requirements that apply to every property owner in the district. Yet the sign, like a new fire station and amphitheater, did not go before the Historic Preservation and Planning Commission for review. That's a problem, because Ordinance 1328 was created precisely to prevent this kind of selective application. Its purpose, and I quote, is to preserve, protect, and perpetuate places, buildings, and structures having special historical, community, or aesthetic interest or value. Also, safeguard the heritage and the city by preserving sites and structures which reflect elements of the city's cultural and architectural history. The design review guidelines further state that signs should not look like plastic or shiny. That is not a mere minor detail. It is an intentional safeguard meant to preserve character and authenticity of our downtown. Yet we now have an internally lit digital display sitting squarely in front of City Hall. I want to be clear, this is not about opposing modernization or criticizing staff. My concern is about consistency. When private property owners in this district are required to submit their projects for HPPC review, whether it's a new deck, a porch, an expansion, or even exterior materials, the city itself must model the same respect for the process. We cannot hold residents to one standard and exempt ourselves from it. When we do, we undermine the credibility of both the ordinance and the commission. Going forward, I'm asking that the city project located within the boundaries of historical preservation and planning district include signage, facilities, or new construction be formally reviewed under Ordinance 1328 and the corresponding guidelines, just as we would require for everyone else. Thank you.
Thank you.
Can I make a quick...
Sure.
Mr. Dahmer, you mentioned that was a letter from someone?
Yes.
Would you be willing to share who that letter was from?
Yes, it's from Sherry Hamlin.
Oh, okay, thank you.
Thank you.
All right. Next on the agenda is review and approval of minutes from the September 23rd, 2025 meeting. Any changes or additions to that?
Move to approve as written.
Second.
Call the roll, please.
Mr. Bateman?
Yes.
Mr. Goodyear?
Yes.
Mr. Hart?
Yes.
Mr. Ori?
Yes.
Vice Mayor Phelps?
I have to abstain because I was not in attendance.
Mr. Ping?
Yes.
Mayor Bailey?
Yes.
Motion carries 7-0.
All right. Next on the agenda is the second reading of an ordinance. I want to go ahead and read the ordinance.
Ordinance establishing the schedule of municipal compensation of non-union employees and the repeal of Ordinance 2025-20.
Right. Any questions or comments on this? Yes, Mr. Hart?
This was what I was going to say last time we brought this up, but I think it's a big part of our job to make sure that we're doing everything as a council, arming our city manager, our staff, with the tools they need to keep the best people that we can working for our city. I think this schedule of salaries shows the value with which we hold our city employees, and the incredible job and the incredible work that they do every day here to make this an incredible place to be. And it's
it's absolutely part of our job to make sure that we're supporting legislation that makes sure that we are valuing them not just with our voice, but with some real tangible items like their salary.
Thank you. Any further comment or questions? All right, call the roll, please.
Mr. Goodyear,
Yes.
Mr. Hart,
Yes.
Mr. Ori,
Yes.
Vice Mayor Phelps,
Yes.
Mr. Ping,
Yes.
Mayor Bailey,
Yes.
Mr. Bateman.
Yes.
Ordinance 86 is adopted by a vote of 7-0.
Mr. Weinich?
Thank you, Mayor. Before you is a amendment to an agreement that we currently have with Choice One Engineering. They are our design firm for the State Route 48 and Butterworth Sidewalk project. That's moving along very well. If you recall, a portion of this is being funded through ODOT and a portion is being funded through OKI. So we are now at the point where we did this with several other projects, specifically on Loveland Madeira Road, where we don't scope or fee the right-of-way plans that are necessary because we want to wait and see where the design takes us. So we're past stage one now, and now we're kind of locked into the right-of-way and the temporary easements that we will need. So at this point, they're able to move forward with the design on those right-of-way plans, which is part of the ODOT process. So with that, they're proposing an additional fee of $75,262 for the right-of-way plans. Not that you would recall, but as far as like lane miles, and this is kind of how ODOT does it. They do it on lane miles, complexity of projects. So there's a parameter, or there's kind of a matrix on how they can set their fee. And this is very similar to the one we did recently, maybe 6 months ago with Loveland Madeira. So the fee's right in line. So we feel pretty confident that that's a acceptable and fair ask of Choice One. With the funding, if you recall, this is broken up into two different kind of phases, but it's all going to be done as one. But it was broken up for funding purposes. The State Route 48 portion, ODOT is able to fund 90% of these costs for the State Route 48 portion, which is about $51,762 of the 75. And then the Butterworth portion is actually, that is 100% on the city. So that was the OKI portion. That was no design fees are able to be rolled into that grant funding. So with that said, of that 75,262, 28,676 will be coming out of our recreation land TIF, which we've identified for this to be the funding mechanism for this project. And then the remainder, 46,585, would be coming from ODOT funding. So with that, we are asking that this amendment to the agreement be passed so that we can move forward with these right-of-way plans. And we're looking like it's going to be late 2027 currently for the construction of this project.
All right, thank you. Any comments or questions? All right, want to go ahead and read the resolution?
Resolution authorizing the city manager to amend its agreement with Choice One Engineering for the State Route 48 and Butterworth Road Sidewalk Project.
All right, call the roll, please.
Mr. Hart,
Yes.
Mr. Ori,
Yes.
Vice Mayor Phelps,
Yes.
Mr. Ping,
Yes.
Mayor Bailey,
Yes.
Mr. Bateman,
Yes.
Mr. Goodyear.
Yes.
Resolution 87 is adopted by a vote of 7-0.
Mr. Kennedy?
So, as we do typically, we are pretty much in the midst of the 2026 operating budget and capital improvement program. And what we like to do this time of year is we like to set apart of an hour before our council meeting to allow us to do a presentation on the CIP. As you realize, CIP is a significant part of the overall budget. So we'll have staff here to answer some questions. We'll put on a presentation for about half of the hour and then field questions on the rest of them. We're pretty excited about this CIP. We're sort of fine-tuning the presentation now. We've got a couple of projects that are still in the formation stage, but enough that I think we'll be able to put this together. So we're requesting that council set a special meeting on October 28th, 2025 at 6 p.m.
Okay. Can we have a motion to that effect?
Yeah, I'll move to set a special meeting for October 28th, 2025 at 6 p.m. for the 2026 Capital Improvement Program presentation.
Thank you. Is there a second?
Second.
Call the roll, please.
Mr. Ori?
Yes.
Vice Mayor Phelps?
Yes.
Mr. Payne?
Yes.
Mr. Bailey?
Yes.
Mr. Bateman?
Yes.
Mr. Goodyear?
Yes.
Mr. Hart?
Yes.
Motion carries 7-0.
Mrs. Clark?
I just wanted to point out that City Council's first meeting in November falls on November 11th, which is Veterans Day. So Council is recommending that meeting be moved to Wednesday, November 12th at 7 p.m. And then wanted to point out that after elections, Council meets on the first Monday in December for their organizational meeting. And then we're proposing that the second and last meeting of the year be on December 9th. And I just need Council's a motion to approve that schedule.
All right, so we need a motion to revise the 2025 City Council meeting schedule as presented.
As presented, yes.
Made a motion, did you?
Yes.
Thank you. Is there a second?
Second.
Call the roll, please.
Vice Mayor Phelps?
Yes.
Mr. Ping?
Yes.
Mayor Bailey?
Yes.
Mr. Bateman?
Yes.
Mr. Goodyear?
Yes.
Mr. Hart?
Yes.
Mr. Ori?
Yes.
Motion carries 7-0.
Mr. Weinich?
Thank you. In your packet is a transmittal letter from the Planning and Zoning Commission. They initiated a proposed zoning text and map amendment a couple weeks ago, 2-3 weeks ago, and set a public hearing that was held October 7th at 6 p.m. here in Council Chambers. This hearing was to consider the zoning text amendment and map amendment, which is known as what is being called the Nisbet District. In your transmittal letter, it lays out all the different chapters that it affects. But in the process, it comes to council as a transmittal letter, and then council may set a public hearing. And staff is recommending, based on timing, that public hearing to hear the zoning text and map amendment be on November 12th at or around 7 p.m. here in council chambers.
Okay, does anybody have any questions? Do you have anything to add, Mr. Bateman?
Just that I think that this was a really unique process that was resident initiated, staff led, and commission vetted very thoroughly. And we discussed when we did advance this recommendation to council, how in many ways this was splitting a very thin hair to try to determine what made up the Nisbet District and why it was different than the current zoning. And so I think that through that process, we arrived at a really good and sound distinction, predominantly with height and conditional uses. So I think that a lot of credit is to be shared for all of the people that had a hand in putting this forward and moving it to the point where we get to discuss it. So I'm looking forward to, the comments that the public and us as colleagues have around the creation of this new proposed district.
Thank you. Anybody have any further comments, questions? Mr. Ping?
Just a point of clarification. The opportunity for council to weigh in on this and so forth comes after the public hearing, correct? So we don't need to have a discussion tonight.
No, we will have, correct.
Thank you.
All right. Could we have yes?
I'll move to set for November 12th at 7 p.m. a public hearing on the Nisbet District text and map.
Second.
Second. Call the roll, please.
Mr. Ping?
Yes.
Mayor Bailey?
Yes.
Mr. Bateman?
Yes.
Mr. Goodyear?
Yes.
Mr. Hart?
Yes.
Mr. Ori?
Yes.
Vice Mayor Phelps?
Yes.
Motion carries 7-0.
Kennedy?
So under City Council goals, this is the second from the last update for the year. And Chris and I usually tag team on these. Some of the highlights under the develop a plan for the 2 blocks from West Loveland to Loveland Deer Road. The plan is complete, and we have completed almost all of the various elements. The signature piece of that plan, which is the West Loveland bike trail crossing, should be starting any day now. It's simply a matter of supplies. Chris is on them regularly. It's simply getting the poles delivered. So Chris and the police are all working on a good PR promotion, and Neil's even Councilman Ori's even weighed in about how to educate on how the new cross will work. So Misty and everyone's put together a way to really educate how this new crossing will work, and so we're excited about that starting anytime now. These are just, we're not blaming it on ODOT since they're funded it, but there is a certain element there. Under the secure funding to fully implement the downtown streetscape plan, we submitted a very significant request to ODOT for phase 1 of the streetscape plan. That funding was not approved. We just found that out not that long ago. We will have a smaller phase included in the 2026 CIP. This will be another bite at it. It allows us to proceed along an area that doesn't have sanitary sewer, really doesn't have any, it fits in with some other improvements that we made. So we'll be able to proceed with that early. It actually will be easy to do early in 2026. We'll probably get it wrapped up even before any of the sesquicentennial. Under the Chestnut, we should be getting our NFA, or no further action letter, from the EPA in December. We are currently examining a couple fill opportunities. If we're able to knock out the fill as a possibility for that property, that will place that piece of land in a different stratosphere, quite frankly, as far as marketability. Chris has had to listen to all my little funny things I say all the time, but that property had 3 issues. One is it was a brownfield. That is in December will be taken care of. One, it had no access to Loveland Madeira Road. That has been taken care of. City Council was able to acquire a key piece of property to open that up. The other is that it has a significant, it's basically has a very low area. And if we can get this field taken care of, that will be good. And patience will have paid off for council to not hitch the wagon to anything along the way. Work to reach full development of Loveland Commerce Park, Kenwood Dealer Group property renovations underway. Again, Eva did a wonderful job in working with that. Will be one of our significant employer connectivity. Loveland Miamiville Road Phase 3 nearly complete. We have another pretty significant sidewalk project in the 2026 CIP. And the last one that I have is under the complete all Nisbet Park improvements. We submitted an ODNR request for additional sections of the walking path around the north border. We were offered partial funding, of which we gladly accepted, and Chris will take the rest of them.
Thank you, Mr. Kennedy. I'll talk a little bit about the Loveland Madeira Road Business Corridor. This will be the last time you'll see it on here as this phasing. So I'm going to be updating this where it's phase 1 will literally be the one going first, and phase 2 will be second, and phase 3. It was just the way the funding all worked out. But phase 3, which is known as the systemic safety phase, this is just to update everyone again from Castle Skateland to the city limits. We are working through the right-of-way offers. We've made all the offers. One of the 6 have been obtained. We've got about 6 weeks to close the deal on all these, and it's looking like we're gonna be able to do all of them without appropriating anything. So that's a good thing. So that's moving along. And then once those right-of-ways are cleared at the end of the year, we will go to bid. And so early next year, you'll start to see those sidewalks going in that stretch. Phase 1, which is, once again, this is the Valley View roundabout area. So West Loveland to Valley View. Stage 2 and right-of-way plans have been approved. We currently have a request for qualifications out for a consultant for the right-of-way process. If you remember, we did this for that previous phase that I was just talking about. This is all part of the ODOT process. And then phase 2, it was originally on here that we submitted for OKI, but so we added at the top last minute. We did find out we were awarded $4.2 million for that middle phase. So that's a great thing. It's an 80-20 split. So we're going to be on the hook for a little over $1 million for that. But it's a good thing. It's funny how the OKI funding works. It is kind of luck of the draw, based on how many projects are in the hopper or coming through. So we got very lucky. So we're excited about that. The Riverside Drive project, their survey and the geotechnical work is being completed. It's pretty much complete. That's still on schedule. And then our PFAS, we've conducted our kickoff meeting with AECOM for the design. They've already sent our water samples down to their lab in Austin, Texas, and we should be hearing about the results from that. Basically, the results of that rapid small-scale test will tell us the best GAC media to use. We put 3 different types of media, 2 Calgon. I'm getting too technical on you, but two Calgon medias and another one that we found that was a good match for our water. So we'll find out what that's going to be based on. Is not just the how effective it is, but also we're looking for something that we're not going to have to change out very often either. So there's 2 components to that. So that rapid scale test will give us some of that information. And that's all I have.
All right. Anybody have any questions or comments on that presentation? Mr. Goodyear.
I have 2 questions, if I
Oh,
may.
geez. Okay.
First of all, Mr. Weinich, I know this is going to be an unfair question that you can't answer, but I know we've had a lot of information over time with the signalization of the bike trail, and I understand the challenges. I understand everything that's happening, but this has been quite a long road. Is there any real sense of when this actually is going to take place?
So the contract states they have to be done. This is an ODOT held contract, so we can't do anything with it. But the contract states they have to be done by literally the last day of November. It's a very small amount of work. It's a lot of boring of utilities. So you're not even going to see much digging. You're going to see a lot of boring. They are supposed to be out there next week starting to bore. So I feel pretty good. I've been in touch with the ODOT project manager. He still feels confident that we will see finality before the end of the year. Now, I know I just said end of November, but there's 2 polls that we're waiting on. So as soon as that would be the last component, they'll get everything else done. We're just waiting on those 2 polls. We're frustrated from a staff level, so I hear you. But I do feel confident it will be completed before the end of the year.
Okay. My second question, thank you. My second question is, you mentioned the roundabout at Valley View.
Yes.
And I've had people ask me about it, and I know there was some information put out by the city. There's a lot of questions about it. Could you explain what is the benefit or the need? What's the necessity for the roundabout at Valley View?
So a roundabout serves 2 purposes. Well, actually, in this instance, it's probably 3. A roundabout gives you the ability to move cars through that intersection quicker, right? So there's no downtime where you're sitting at a light. You're consistently moving through the intersection. So it speeds up your time through the intersection. It is, without a doubt, way safer. There are no head-on collisions. If there's an accident, it's a side swipe. So it is tremendously safer. And the third part is it probably doesn't make a lot of sense to everyone right now, but that will be a 4-way intersection once we develop the Chestnut property. So it's going to enhance, for us selfishly as from the city also, it's going to enhance that corner Denise property. It's going to become very viable and very easy to enter and exit there. But as far as the actual technical side of why a roundabout, it's getting people through there quicker. So it was proven in the traffic study that you'll be through that intersection quicker, and it's way more safe. So,
Thank you.
Yep.
Any other questions? Mr. Bateman.
I really appreciate the Councilmanic worksheet. I think it's a great tool, not just for us, but for all the residents to kind of see the progress and the goals that have been set. So I'm a sucker for, a good sports analogy. So it's like we're on the 10-yard line in the red zone, and I just been looking forward to 12-9 when we can punch them in for touchdowns. Now that's not to suggest that all of these are going to be completed. In fact, I'm more excited about the opportunity to take these into the next council session and reshape these goals with more of the current status as opposed to where we envisioned them 2 years ago. So again, just a lot of great effort and work from so many people in this city to get us to this point. So I just appreciate all of the hard work. I know we breezed through it, but it's 2 years worth of work, here on this page. And so I just commend you all for the work that went into it and the ability to communicate it on these quarterly updates. So thank you.
Anyone else? I'm just impressed because these are some very big projects that you're juggling and managing between Riverside and Loveland, Madeira, not to mention everything that we're trying to do along West Loveland and everything, all the other smaller projects. So I commend you and all the staff for being able to manage and juggle all of that. And I agree, there's going to be a whole lot of pretty amazing things happening in the next 1 to 4, 5 years. So thank you. All right. I think I don't have any announcements, right? Does anybody have any announcements? Any council reports?
We just say thank you for the sesquicentennial cutting boards.
No?
We're going to be giving those to our boards and commission members this week for their volunteer dinner that we have.
Spoiler alert.
Nobody look at them.
Nice job.
It's just a piece of work.
Nice job. Okay. All right. So can we have a motion to adjourn?
So moved.
Is there a second?
Second.
Call the roll, please.
Mayor Bailey,
Yes.
Mr. Bateman,
Yes.
Mr. Goodyear,
Yes.
Mr. Hart,
Yes.
Mr. Ori,
Yes.
Vice Mayor Phelps,
Yes.
Mr. Ping.
Yes.
Motion carries 7-0.